Shalom, welcome to my channel, The Hebrew Bible. This is Moses Gumadi, and in this video we'll talk about the 12 spies that went to Canaan. 12 men went to spy out Canaan. 10 were bad, 2 were good. We'll also look at Hoshea, or who was renamed as Yehoshua. We'll talk about Caleb, the son of Jephunneh. We'll also mention the giants in Hebron, and the tombs of the patriarchs. And finally, the large cluster of grapes they brought from the land of Canaan. All of these we will look at. Now, in the book of Numbers, chapter 13 through chapter 15 is that portion, Torah portion, called Shelach Lecha. Shelach Lecha means send for yourself. Okay, in the book of Numbers, chapter 13, verse 1 to 2, we read, Vaydaber Adonai el Moshe lemor, Shelach lecha anashim, send for yourself men, so that they may go and search out Canaan, etc. And he told them to take 12 men, one from each tribe, and each of them were Nasi, or is a ruler or a prince of all the tribes. And we have 12 tribes here, starting with Reuben, Simeon, Judah, etc. This is the order in which the names are mentioned, starting from right to left as we read Hebrew, and then of course from top to bottom. We have 12 people, and one thing that we can notice that all of these guys have a surname, Ben Hosea, for example, Shamua ben Zakur, and Shaphat ben Hori, Caleb ben Jephunneh, Yigal ben Yosef, etc. Hoshea bin Nun. So all of them have Ben and their father's name. That's how the old Israelites had it. Later on, there is a video going on in the internet. People are complaining about Netanyahu's old surname being Milikovsky or something like that. Well, the point is that I think in Europe, in the medieval Europe, they were forced to take up names in the countries where there were a lot of Jews, and all these names that sound Russian or sound Polish and all that stuff is essentially due to the fact that they lived in certain places or they did a certain trade, and it's all because of the local political and administrative requirements. Okay, let's come back to the subject. Hoshea. By the way, Yehoshua or Joshua, who we know about, the familiar person in the Bible, the servant of Moses. He was an assistant to Moses. His original name was Hoshea. We'll talk about that. Here we read in Numbers chapter 13 verse 16. Elle shemot ha'anashim asher shalach Moshe latur et ha'aretz vayikra Moshe laHoshea bin Nun Yehoshua. So these are the names. Elle shemot ha'anashim asher shalach Moshe. These are the names of the men that Moses had sent latur, to scout or to spy out the land, et ha'aretz, Vayikra, and Moses Vayikra, and Moses called Hoshea bin Nun Yehoshua. Hoshea the son of Nun, he called Yehoshua. So King James Bible, interestingly, puts the whole name Yehoshua, except then we have the J instead of Y. So they say Jehoshua, but Yehoshua. Old name was Hoshea. One thing that, of course, he is from the tribe of Ephraim, or Ephraim. Ephraim, the last son of, there are two sons of Joseph, and they were counted as among the tribes of Israel, right? Okay, so that's Ephraim or Ephraim. The name Hoshea means salvation, but when the name is changed, it becomes Yehoshua, means Yeho saves. Adonai is the Savior, or Adonai saves. Yeho, we can say that because Yehoshua, Yehonathan, Yehoyahaz, Yehoyakim, Yehoyakim, Yehonadav, all these guys, they have these names starting with Yeho. It is quite probable that the last He may have been silent and they probably pronounced it like that, or maybe Yahu, say Yeshayahu, Yermeyahu, Netanyahu, etc. That's another pronunciation. In either of the pronunciations, the last He in the divine name, the fourth letter, probably is silent, and probably that is another possible pronunciation, but we don't know. Okay, right. So here we have Joshua, Yehoshua, the son of Nun. One interesting thing about him is that he is called Bin Nun. Bin Nun, not Ben Nun. If you actually look at all the names, everybody is Ben Zachor, Ben Chori, Ben Yefunne, Ben Yosef, Bin Nun. Only Joshua was Bin Nun. Why is that? People have really observed this, and some rabbis suggested a few things. Bin Nun. Why is he called Bin Nun? Or because what they did is they merged these two nuns, the letter Nun. Well, by the way, Nun is the spelling of the letter Nun. This Nun and the Nun Sofit, and the Nun Sofit. The letter Nun, the word Nun means fish, and the Nun is the letter, and this is the spelling of that letter, Bin Nun. So instead of saying Ben Nun, Bin Nun, and you can merge these two nuns with the dagesh, it becomes Bin Nun. And it can mean the understanding one, the one with understanding. Bina. Bina is the word for understanding. So the way they do the word play here is that Bin Nun is the one with understanding. So they said that amongst all the 12, this guy was the one with the understanding because he had the Spirit of the Lord, and later he was made the leader according to the word of the Lord by Moses. Bin Nun. Okay, some people also connect that with another word in the book of Psalm 72 verse 17, where we read about the Messiah. His name shall endure forever, and his name shall be continued. We see in the King James, his name shall be continued. Yehi Shemo Leolam, his name shall be forever. Lifne Shemesh, in the face of the sun. Yennun Shemo. Oh, by the way, this is called Ketiv Kere. Kere is what is, Kere is called what is read. Ketiv means what is written. So this is Ketiv, this is written with a Yod, but in the margin there is a word Yinnon, which we are supposed to say. We read this, we see this, but we read this. So Yinnon Shemo means Yinnon is his name. You can say like that, or his name shall, his name shall be sprouting or increase. His name will be great, etc. Okay, so Yinnon means actually, he can translate it as he shall increase, where the word Nun means fish. The Nun also, the verb Nun means to multiply, to increase. Okay, like the fish swarming in the seas and increasing. He shall increase. So some people make that connection with Bin Nun and Yinnon, etc. But again, these are different thoughts. The other guy, most important guy, is amongst amongst the 12 spies. 10 were bad, 2 were good. Why? Because the 10 brought the bad news, and later, they died in the plague, we read. Because of them, the Israelites had to wander around in the desert for 40 years, and all that generation perished, who were about 20 years. And those guys, the young guys, became old, and when they became 60, they entered the land. So we have Caleb, the son of Yefunne, as the second guy, who was a good guy, apart from Yehoshua, of course. And if you look at him, he is the prince of the tribe of Judah. Prince of the tribe of Judah. And interestingly, so his full name is Caleb ben Yefunne. Caleb ben Yefunne, or in English, Caleb the son of Jephunneh. Okay, the word Caleb means dog. It could also mean faithful one or trustworthy person. It's similar because you see the dogs are also trustworthy to their masters. But really the word for dog is kelev, from which this word is derived supposedly, and many people do agree that that's the meaning. Right, some people also take a different meaning, but before that, who is this individual? He's obviously the tribe of, from the tribe of Judah, but there is also a suggestion that he probably joined the tribe of Judah and then became a head. And maybe he was not from the Israelites, he was a Kenizzite. Kalev ben Yefunne HaKenizzi is what is written in one of the verses. And this HaKenizzi, the Kenizzite, is the same word, the Kenizzites, in the book of Genesis, where God told Abraham that I will give you the land of the Kenites, Et HaKeni, Vet HaKenizzi, Vet HaKadmoni. And of course the Amorites and all those guys, the Perizzites and the Hivites and the Jebusites, etc. Amongst those are this particular group, HaKenizzi. And probably he's from them, or maybe he's not, we don't know. Or maybe his father's name is Kenaz and therefore he is Kenizzite, okay? So those possibilities exist. But interestingly, his name, Kalev, means dog, and Jews did call the Gentiles dogs, and I don't know why he was named like that. But then they took it positively and named him like that, perhaps because he was very faithful. God says he was very faithful indeed, very faithful to the Lord. Kol Lev. Some people do a word play with his name Kalev as Kol Lev, means whole heart. So he served the Lord with all his heart. We read in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6, verse 4, Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha. So you shall love the Lord with all thy heart. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha. That's the lev. Lev is the heart. Kol levavcha. Kol lev is Kalev. Okay, whole heart. These are all the word plays. And the Lord himself says that, but my servant Kalev, because he had another spirit, Ruach HaCharef, another spirit with him, and he hath followed me fully. Vaimale. So this word means to be filled. He was filled, or rather he filled Acharai, behind me. Meaning he has fully followed the Lord. There is a similar sentence in the book of Deuteronomy as well, where the Lord talks about Caleb, the son of Yefunne. So he was extremely faithful person to the Lord, which is why he said, I will bring him into the land where he went, and his seed shall possess that particular land of Hebron, which we're going to talk about shortly. Giants in Hebron and the tombs of patriarchs. Hebron. Why Hebron? We read in the book of Numbers, chapter 13, verse 22. Vaya'alu b'negev. So they went up, they ascended by the south. Ya'al. Al means to go up. So they went up by the south, by the Negev. And here we read the next word is Vayavo. This Vayavo is singular. Vayavo ad Hebron. It says, and they came till Hebron. No, it's not they. Here in the English, and they ascended by the south and came. It says in the King James. But I added this word he. Why? Because this word Vayavo is in the singular. So, and he came to Hebron, where Ahiman, Sheshai, and Talmai, the children of Anak, Yelideh ha-Anak, Ain, Anak, were there. So who, these guys are the giants, we'll talk about them shortly, but who came to Hebron? Who is the singular guy that came to Hebron? That is Caleb, or because he was the prince of Judah, and he's the one who inherited Hebron. So that's the reason. Okay, so who are these Anakim? are the sons of Anak, or the children of Anak. We read in the verse 33, Vesham Reinu, there we have seen Nephilim. Nephilim are the guys who are mentioned in the book of Genesis chapter 6. Nephilim, the Nephilim are the ones who have Nafal, the fallen ones. That's one interpretation. Nephilim are the ones who have fallen. So what does it mean to fall? Are they fallen from above? Are they angels who became men, or because they transgressed, or like what? So there are many theories about it. We won't go there. But they are the Nephilim. English translates as giants. But of course, that's not the meaning. There is Nafal is the word that means to fall. So you can interpret it in many ways. What does it mean by the fallen ones? You can say that people who have not lived up properly and have fallen from the way could be also called the fallen ones. But then again, you have context. Were they giants? Certainly they were giants. Big guys in the Bible. There are many of them. Bene Anak. So they're the sons of Anak, which come of the giants. Min Nephilim. Well, they're translating as the giants because of this. And we were in our own sight as grasshoppers. That's the reason. Well, so the idea is that these guys were very big guys when you take them literally. So were we in their sight. Okay. In the book of Joshua, we read about them again. The Anakim. Where is the word? Yeah. But Anakim, a great man among the Anakim. Who is that great man? One particular guy called Arba. Arba means actually 4. He is called Arba. Kiryat Arba means the city or the town of Arba. And this was the name of Hebron before. Hebron, Vesham Hebron, Lefanim. Kiryat Arba. This first letter is Aleph. It's not pronounced as Ain. Arba. Last one is Ain. Okay. Adam HaGadol, a great man. Who is that guy? Arba. So Kiryat Arba is the place of the giants or the Anakim. And one particular guy was Anak. Okay, so they were there. And why did Caleb go to Hebron? They all went there, but Caleb went to Hebron. How do we know Caleb went? It says he went to. Who went to? Obviously the one who inherited Hebron must have gone. And why did he go? Well, there he went because they were there, the tombs, the sepulchres, or the tombs of the patriarchs, of Abraham and of Sarah, of Isaac and Rebekah, and of Jacob and Leah. 6 of them are there even today. And of course, they have divided up into 2 divisions. Today, if you go to Hebron, you can see something known as Ibrahimi Mosque, where there's a mosque, and on the other side there's a small synagogue. And on one side they have taken the the Isaac and Rebekah's side. It falls under the towards the mosque, whereas towards the synagogue, Jacob and Leah. And Abraham's tomb, Abraham and Sarah, is like 50-50. So that is a very nice arrangement they have done between themselves. But of course, all of these were originally controlled by the Jews. Okay, so all these people, they were buried. Sarah Abraham buried Sarah. Later on, Isaac and Ishmael buried Abraham. And then, of course, the remaining Isaac and all these guys were buried by their sons. And so Ishmaelites have got nothing to do with Isaac and Jacob. Anyway, So their tombs are in Hebron, and that's why he went, is the idea. Quite possible. That's why he went. And he went despite the fact that, of course, the Anakim were there. Right, so finally when they went there, they also brought giant grapes, large cluster of grapes from Eshcol. We read that Vayavo ad Nachal Eshcol Vaikrethu Misham Zemora ve Eshcol Anavim. You see this word Eshcol occurring twice, but in English there's one time it's mentioned Eshcol, the other time it is cluster. So Eshcol is the place, but then it is named after the word Eshcol, which means cluster of grapes. Grapes are Anavim. So this is a Eshcol, is a cluster, and Anavim means grapes. So that's what they brought, very large cluster of grapes. I don't know how it looked, but this picture is very nice. It shows really massive, huge cluster of grapes. Hey, thank you very much for watching this video. Please do like and subscribe to my channel. Click the bell icon and post your comment below. And I will see you again with another video as soon as I can. Until then, thank you and see you later.